What is up, everybody? It's me, it's Dean, and I am back on the JFS, and I am in one of my towers, checking out the farms that I had made over the last couple days. We got ourselves a sugarcane farm over here. This thing's pretty slow, but very straightforward. And then we got a kelp farm. This one is kind of neat, but also kind of frustrating for this reason right here. So what it's supposed to do is supposed to float up to the top, and then this water stream here carries it over to a minecart with a hopper in it, and then the system actually sends it to here, where the smoker cooks it, and then it sends it downstairs to an auto crafting system, which turns it into a kelp block, and then sends it into a chest down there. And that's great. The only tricky part is I have to keep it fueled. But I do, as you saw down there, I have another farm. The problem is, sometimes the kelp sinks straight to the bottom, and when it does that, it gets stuck here. It gets stuck on the bottom block as if there's something above it in the way. And I wonder if that means the piston sticks out a little bit, but even here it's kind of moving away from the piston and it's still getting stuck. So I don't understand what's going on with that. But I did make a small bypass over here where some of the kelp will get sent this way. And if it gets sent towards these final blocks here, it can catch the water exiting and it'll go into the hopper there. And in doing so, it actually bypasses the smelting and crafting and goes into this hopper down into here. So down at the bottom here, we have regular kelp and dried kelp blocks. That helps a little bit. It helps mitigate some of the losses here. But obviously, if anything happens on this end, I can't do anything about it except maybe grab the ones on the corner here. And then like this guy is just stuck here and it's going to despawn. So I thought about solving this issue by putting mud under here and then do a row of hoppers into the bypass. In which I can do that. See, this one goes right into the bypass. Do we get any into the hopper itself, though? No. But, and then see, we got this one in the corner, which I can grab. And then I'll just chuck it into here. That'll get added to the smoker. Yeah, I could do that. I think that'll work out pretty well. Problem is that this is right on the floor, so if I want to add hoppers under the mud, I would have to rip up the floor, and then you could see it from underneath. So I would either have to lower the ceiling, maybe I can put some, like, slabs under this. But yeah, something I'll have to do. Maybe we could do that now. But, yeah, I'm gonna put up some, like, walls and stuff around here to pretty this up a little bit. As for this side, this one that's not facing us, actually, let me sleep real quick. That is my bamboo farm. And it's built backwards, because when I was originally building it, I built it too close to the glass, and couldn't fit the redstone. And so instead of tearing it all down and pushing it closer to the middle, I decided to flip it and have it face outside, which connected to the glass anyways, so I had to put glass blocks here, which I kind of got to do another row up there to at least make that look even. But yeah, bamboo grows fast, and when it grows, it triggers the redstone. Actually, that one should have popped off by now. But I think when the one next to it grows, it'll pop off anyways. But basically, anytime these grow, there's no observers on this, so anytime it grows, it just, it triggers the pistons, which will then knock off the bamboo. Then that cart running around will scoop it up and drop it into the chest. So I have a regular wood source, which can also act as a fuel source for the kelp upstairs. So I just want to see if this will. Oh, I wonder if that one's having an issue. I wouldn't know why, because it was working just fine up until now. But yeah, as you can see, working pretty well. This is our output here, and our output here. But let's get some wood. Or not some wood, some mud. We have wood. I want to work on the office space up there. But I'm kind of having trouble with figuring out how to do a good cubicle design. Because I think I need 8. I'll bring 10. Yeah. And I was trying the shelves, because at first they kind of work perfectly, because they look like that. But I like the smooth part as the outside. Problem is, when you try to design a cubicle with them, they don't connect the way that you would hope. So, let me just turn this into mud real quick. Thank you. And I don't know if I have hoppers laying around, but I might need to make use of the bamboo. Which means I should probably grab some iron on the way up. I'll just do that for now. I think I'll need that much anyways. But yeah, so when I do the shelves, so if I want to do with the inventory bits facing outwards, oops, see that we have that kind of issue. But I can do it like this, where I can have one flat space, but then the rest are kind of like that. Or I can do this, in which the flat side is inside, and so you get the textured part on the outside. I guess that's not horrible. I just kind of wish I could do this side on the outside. And the only way that I could turn it into a flat space is with redstone, and I don't think we can do that up there. So we'll have to play with it a bit. That's still going. Hold on, I've got to take a peek at this real quick. Yeah, there might be an issue there. I think there's an issue with that one as well. I don't think that one's growing like it's supposed to. Wonder if it has something to do with me logging out. But, let's turn these into this. Turn them into... Nope. Turn them into planks. And we can make chests, which can then turn into hoppers. Then we need some blocks to get up here. And knock all these out real quick. It's okay if they go into there, because I can just grab them from downstairs. So yeah, what we'll have to do is get some air. Put these on my bar. Ooh. Oh no, I can do this from underneath. So I'll just put mud here instead. We're gonna drown a little bit. Nope, not quite. And I'll just plant what I got. So the mud's a little bit, it's like slightly lower than a block, which is why it works on this side. So I'm thinking if I can just come underneath here. Oh. Actually, I gotta hold on to that. Yeah, I'll hold on to that. If I come down here. So directly underneath Let me just make sure I get this right here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 from the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's in line with these hoppers here. So we come out here. So this, yeah, this should be, okay, mud. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8. And that should be a block. Yeah. So what we'll do is just connect to this hopper. So it'll go right down into the bypass. And we are 3 hoppers short, which is okay. Alright, let's head back up here real quick. I'm gonna put this other kelp in here. Did any grow in the meantime? No. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. We could also just use some of these as well. So there's 1. And we'll do 2, 3. And then 3. And then down in here. And we fall. Bum, bum, bum. So now, what should happen is when the kelp hits the bottom, hits the mud, it should get sucked into the hopper, sent into the bypass, and then down in here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take all of this. I need 1 to plant. And then I'm just going to sit and wait real quick and see if it works. So I'm pretty sure this works. As I was fixing this, I sent blocks down to the bottom here, and it seemed to work pretty well. So I'm just kind of using the extra materials I have here to cook a little bit. But yeah, so that should be good. That should help with any losses. So yeah, anything that falls into the mud should get sucked up by the hoppers and then sent through bypass to end up down here. So we shouldn't lose anything. And then this is obviously hard at work, so. Alright, so. Let me drink a little bit. A little bit of Ollie Pop. I'm drinking more soda alternatives. Okay, so that did pop off. Okay. Looks like that one grew to full length, but it needs, like, that one to grow in order for that to pop off, I guess. But yeah, we need to work more in here. I've neglected the cubicles for too long. So let's head upstairs and take a look at what we're working with. Everybody's still hanging out here. So this is staying. Zulu built that back during Good Fortunes, and I've just kept it ever since. I AFK in there sometimes. But what I'm thinking of doing is going like this or something. Would a 3x3 space be enough? Cubicles are pretty claustrophobic, and I suppose you only need enough space to be more like this, I suppose. So you'd have like desk space here, and then wall here, and then it would be like bum 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 bum. Ooh, and you get a little window seat. I suppose I can stay. That's Brian down there, if you're wondering who the whiny one is. And then, like this. Kind of like that. And repeat down, all the way down. But yeah, I was kind of hoping I could do this with the walls, or the shelves. I wanted to do it like this. And then, but then if you want it to connect on this side, you have to go like this, which brings this part outwards. And then if I wanted to go this way, like I suppose I could, if I have a gap, this is a pain. No, because then that's outside. Wait. If I do it, but if I do it like this, ooh, look at that. So, I guess that's okay. But then this outer wall becomes an inner wall for the next cubicle, though. That's the problem. But I could set another wall on the back side of this. Okay, this actually kind of works. So now we're on to the next phase of things, which is I need shelves. So, actually I'll keep these up for the shape. But, yeah, I'm gonna start farming trees, I guess, and I'll get back to you in a bit. Because it's raining elsewhere, but this is what I got so far. The walls were not working, so I had to go with full-size blocks, but we got this set up. So carpet across the main rooms, and then in here we got our little cubicle, little computer screen, not really much room for a keyboard. Might change this up a bit, but they're all basically identical. Some have different plants. I think a couple of these don't have plants at all, because, you know, different personalities. Like, this one doesn't have a plant. But, this one has a little extra space. Not really sure what to do with it. It is a little spacious over here. Maybe we can throw in something. Yeah, I left this up. This is the timeout corner, I guess. We should... Hold on. Let's see, what would we call this? Bad employee cage and sad face. And we also have a little bit of space over here to look out the window. Got the overhead lighting over here. Let's see if we can fill in that extra space. real quick. What would look good there? What if they just had like a little fridge, maybe? I also slapped a crafting table in the corner here. Yeah, maybe. This look good? Just have their own little... Maybe it's something. Actually, I could... Hold on. Ooh. That looks good. So they got... Whoever gets this one gets a little extra space, I guess. But yeah, we got one floor of this. I was thinking about doing another floor with it. My main concern is phantoms. So I might have to do a second floor of offices here. And then the CEO suite would be up top. Then we have to move Gretzky somewhere. Because he's just been here. Actually, I don't know if I can get him out of here now. I kind of forgot he was up here. And now we have this. Hold on, we can... Oh, and the ender chest? Come on. And then I can just drop them this way. Oh, he can't go out the front doors. No, we're stuck in here now. Okay, we'll have to tear up this door. We'll send him out back. You stay here for a second. Fix this mess. Well, he's gonna try to find his way back upstairs. So I gotta make sure all this is closed off so he doesn't get back up there. So we got this. Ender chest. He wants to be back upstairs. He wants to be the CEO. That's reserved for someone else. Alright, let's send you back over here. I'll get a lead for him. I'll use the leash. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I guess I'll work more on the next floor. And then... yeah, we'll get back to that once I'm done there. Let me just take a look in here real quick. See how we're doing. Any progress we made. Nice, nice. Ooh, look at the kelp. We're up to 38. So that tells me that this mud setup is working really well. Because, yeah, that whole situation was a bit of an issue. But, and we also have a full stack in here. Oh, and random stuff in here. Just cook that a little bit. I'll just chuck the sticks in here. Just to get some of this cooking. But yeah, that looks like it's going pretty good up here. Nice, nice. Alright. Alrighty, I am back. And just hanging out in storage. It's Saturday, so a couple days since the last bit of videos. Let's do some updating. What was I here for? Scaffold. I want to finish the that building back there. I think I need a little bit of scaffold, if I can remember where I have any. Let's take a couple stacks. Actually, this will take a bit of a process, so we might not be able to get that done on time. Let's see. But I wanted to do some updating. Just gonna organize my thoughts here real quick. So we collect some gray dye, set this down, making sure, oops, not that. Let's get 4 of these, 4 of these. Perfect. And then I guess 1 stack of each for the other bit. Oops. There we go. Okay, so now we gotta go down here and do some monotonous stuff, and this will be perfect for the life update. So, this is basically all I'm gonna do. I can do 16 blocks in this little pool here. And then as I mine them, the water in the back fills in back to normal. Alright, so first off, JFS Classics. Last week, I was talking about how I was kind of stalled out because I was working on a skit, and I was kind of not enjoying it. A little bit too cringe for what I was going for, but I was pretty close to finishing it. I have not only finished it, but I finished the entire episode of JFS Classics, which will be released tomorrow when this comes out, Monday. So yeah, episode 3 is out, or going to be out. I'm not sure how the skit's gonna go over. It's pretty bad. The acting is what it is. I actually think my impersonation of Kusog was pretty good. But everybody else was, you know. I think it has its moments. I think the biggest issue with the skit, honestly, is 2 things. One, I think the pacing's too fast. I think it's edited a little too fast. And 2, I think that the conversation that was used kind of makes the whole thing a bit confusing. It's kind of hard to keep track of what's going on a bit, in my opinion. I did try, when I originally was editing it, I tried to keep the conversation pretty much exactly what it was in the chat, but as I was editing it, when I recorded it, I changed like maybe some minimal like grammar stuff, adding an extra word here or there for better flow. But during the editing, especially while I was rendering it, I noticed that there were a couple points where it the conversation would make a little bit more sense if I like swapped some of the characters around a bit. Really swap the order of the conversation a little bit. So there's a couple parts where one character will talk before they did in chat, which for most people will probably go unnoticed, but for me it was like the whole thing felt a lot clunkier doing it like perfectly the way it was done in the chat in the original video. But now, with the way that it was acted out, it flows a little bit better. But I do feel like the whole thing might end up being a bit confusing, maybe a bit hard to follow, but we'll see. But yeah, that was a fascinating moment in Season 2. It was one of those, like, it was a precursor, in a way, to, like, the Nations era of Season 3. Funnily enough, nobody involved in the war situation took part in the Nations era, as far as I can tell. Well, besides me, I guess, but I had a very minimal part in the whole thing. Also, a little thing to note, I already mentioned this going into this next batch of videos, that I was going to start going a little bit out of order, start jumping ahead and back in each video. This episode, we're actually in order all the way up till episode 19, and then I jumped to 21 at the end. So, it's mostly in order, but, the next video that I'll be editing it'll include episode 20, and then we'll jump ahead in a few places. Yeah, there's going to be 4 episodes where we alternate, where we're going to do 2 episodes that mainly feature the big build, and 2 episodes where we do basically anything else. And we're going to alternate. So this first video is doing anything else. The next video will be all about the big build. And then we'll do another anything else video, and then another big build video. That'll carry us into me going to the army. So that'll be we're in 3, 4, 5, 6. So episode 7 and would be the army video. So, and I'm gonna see, not sure if this is doable, but I might see if I can finish Season 2 by episode 10 of JFS Classics. So they might be a little bit longer. I'm trying to keep them around an hour in length, but they might run a little bit longer if I decide to include more videos. This next episode includes 7 JFS videos. So will the next one, or the next others type episode. And then, not sure how. Then the army video is probably going to include 5. One be the one before, the 2 during Christmas break, and then, yeah, I think the 3 after. Maybe I'll lump in a 6th video, because I do have the Arkansas vacation that followed that. So yeah, every video is going to be probably... might try to get them... what am I doing? They're going to be between 5 and 10 episodes, basically. It depends on, like, what I'm trying to include, so... or how I'm trying to group them. But yeah, I think we're going to do roughly 6 or 7 or 8 for these next 4, and then about 5 or 6 for the army video. Then after that, I'm going to try to group the rest in a way that I can squeeze them into 3 videos to finish Season 2. And then when Season 2's done, I will do a one more look video where we tour Season 2. I think that's what I'm going to do with the whole thing there, theme-wise. And then we move on to Season 3. So yeah, that's how that's going. Quick little JFS update. In case you're concerned about the lack of community-esque stuff going on, it has been pretty quiet lately. We are doing a server tour later this month. I think that's 2 weeks from now. I'm going to set up a server tour, so for the next couple weeks I'll be hard at work finishing things off. So I think what I'm going to do with Gemini Towers is I'm going to do the second set of offices off camera, and set up another floor for the CEO suite. And then we could do the CEO suite in the next week's video. So, yeah, we gotta do that. Gotta finish that off. We gotta work more on the MASO build. I did more work on that today, so you'll probably see that in this video. And we also have the Not Loser satellite to finish up. We have a little farm to put on at the Ender. We also need to do a Not Losers meeting about the Nether Hub. So I think that should be organized. So, okay, that's all of that. There was one other thing. Oh yeah, I was going to do a life update little thing. So, past couple weeks have actually been a little bit tight financially. Paying rent for the last couple weeks. I always split my rent into 2 weeks, where I save half of my rent out of the first paycheck and then grab the other half with the second paycheck to pay all that off. But on top of that, I've been having to do some work on my car, or at least taking it to someone who can do that for me. And recently it's been tires. I actually bought tires online off Walmart, and was going to get them installed at Walmart, because they're usually, like, say what you will about Walmart, the one over here I actually don't mind. They're actually pretty good, and they're a no questions asked kind of place, because my car's old, it needs a lot of stuff, so I don't like going to a mechanic and having them tell me what I already know for the 100th time, if that makes sense. Do you know that your suspension is bad? And it's like, yep, I know that. But yeah, I was gonna get my tires installed at Walmart, and turns out they were a size too big. So I had to return them and prepare a refund. And I was going to reschedule the tire installation for another time, but then realized that that can't wait, because I had neglected my tires for way too long. Perks of being poor and also not kind of paying attention. Yeah, tires are bald. They were actually starting to cord on the insides a little bit. That's when the little metal bits start poking out through the rubber, because they're that worn down, that bad. I actually missed a day of work on Wednesday because it was raining that day, and as I was driving up the interstate, my car was acting like it was on ice, and I nearly wrecked twice on the interstate. And the second time that happened, I literally took the next exit, which was conveniently directly in front of me, pulled over at a gas station, and texted my manager and said, yeah, I'm not coming in. He explained the whole thing. But yeah, yesterday, Friday, I took it to a different place and got 2 tires installed. And next week, I might get some more work done. Need new sway bars. And a few other things, but I might ask them to pivot to a different service just to save a little bit of money, because there's a few things that they put on a recommendation list, and there's a couple cheaper things that I might choose instead. I'm going to see how my car drives when I take it to work this week, and see if I can handle. I mean, like, without sway bars, your car kind of wanders a bit, and it looks like the sway bars that I need are for the back end. Yeah, drink some water here. My tongue's all all dry and cottony. But yeah, without sway bars, your car kind of wanders a bit on the back end. And if it handles better than it did on Wednesday, I might put that off a little bit. Maybe put it off till next month and deal with some of the cheaper stuff. Like, for example, I need brake fluid exchange, apparently. I also think I need brake pads, so I think that's a little bit more of an immediate concern. But, we'll see. I want to see how my car handles first and see if I can deal with it. Don't know what I'm doing with the floor here. But, this building... Oh, I need... Oops, we need to go back up there. We gotta put a roof on this. But actually, let's grab some slabs. So yeah, that's something I gotta deal with. Actually, I want to hold on to the cobble. Do I need? Yes, I do. I need these for the MASO build. Take these. So, that should be enough. If not, that's whatever. But yeah, because of all that, last week money was pretty tight. I actually had to dip into... Actually, we should do this on the outside. I had to dip into one of my credit cards to get gas, but I have a rule in place for when I need to do that. Two parts to the rule. One is an obvious one, only use it for stuff that you need. And two is only use a credit card that I am still paying off. So my two Credit One cards that I've paid off already, they have not been touched. They're still paid off, which is good. I think that's fine. I will probably need more than 2 stacks. But yeah, the Credit One cards are okay. I have not touched them. I actually use the card that I'm currently working on. So that was a bit of a setback there, but on the upside, I got my refund for the tires that were too big. So that money's back in my pocket. So this week I'm going to have a smaller paycheck, obviously, because I missed a day of work, but beyond that, should be fine. Should be fine. So, and luckily, the week that I get the smaller paycheck is on a week that has no bills going towards it. So, it's what I call a free week, aka a week that I'm not paying anything besides like groceries and gas. So I can afford to have a bit of a situation there. And yeah, that's honestly a good thing overall, because it reflects how well, how much better my finances are. Oh yeah, I need way more than 2 stacks. But yeah, it definitely reflects how well my finances have improved since I started working on my debts. So the fact that I can run into a bit of a situation like this with, car troubles and still, excuse me, and still, come out of it looking all right. The best part about this is that, yeah, Gretzky's back. He's back out here. Yeah, the best part about this is that back in the day, I would, if I had a situation like this, not only would I have to, space out my bill payments, not being able to pay them all at once, but I would also have to, I would also be like dipping into a cash advance loan, which I would have to pay back with interest, and also the monthly payment to access all that, you know. And yeah, those cash advance loans sucked because it would just, you kind of get stuck in this loop of you dip into it for the money you need, and then the next week you have to pay it off, but now you need that money to take care of rent or bills, so then you have to, withdraw it again, and so you're always using next week's money to pay for this week's problems, and so it's kind of hard to break out of that cycle. But once I did, and I actually broke out of it a few times and then dipped right back into it, but this time, it is gone and staying gone. And the fact that a situation like this only resulted in me having to, like, touch a credit card that I haven't paid off yet, instead of, getting a cash advance loan, getting back into that loop again, that's pretty good. Pretty good improvements. Nice. So yeah, this is going to be farms. This is going to be like carrots, potatoes, melons. Maybe I'll do a beetroot farm, a wheat farm, stuff like that. Yeah. I'll do the floors and stuff in here later. One last thing we'll do before we sign off. Actually, let's do two things. First thing, I want to set up a to-do list somewhere. I need signs. I want to be in a quickly accessible area. I guess I'm using these. I don't think I need all of these, but... Is there a spot upstairs in storage? Well, I could just put it on, like, these walls. It doesn't have to be, like, an official, like, room. Yeah, I could do it over here, actually. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Let's start with these. Ooh, wait. Dark on dark is going to be kind of tough. I'll fix the coloring in a minute. So, to-do list. Finish. Gemini Towers. That's number 1. Yep. Can't see that at all. 2. Finish. Yeah, finish. Plant farm skyscrapers. 3. Build animal farm skyscrapers. 1. Then we might have 4 actually. We have room for, so we've got 1 there, and then there's 1. We have space back there for 1. So not sure what we're gonna do with all of them, but then we got finish, MASO, HQ. There's gonna be a lot of finish this, finish that. Ender farm. Then we got NL, not losers. Satellite. Cockpit. And meeting room finish. Then we have another hub. And then I'm just gonna put silos stuff. Anything else? I think that's it for right now. I think at some point I want to do a proper storage area. This storage building's fine, but it's not automated. I wanted to make the whole thing automated originally, and then didn't do that, so. Oh, you know what? One of the towers could be a smelting tower. Maybe. Maybe, maybe not. I think that's everything for now. Oh, no, wait. We have arena. Then I want to do a shop town shop. There is a shop town district set up. I don't think anybody's built there yet, but there is an area for it now. And I'm just gonna keep these up for something. And let's go get some white dye from the bottom. While we're down here, we can put the gray concrete away. That should be enough. Make this so we can see it. That's a little bit better. And it's a bit better. I can at least read it. A lot of finishing stuff, but... yeah, we gotta put a bunch of stuff away. Put all that away. This is spruce. I'll hold on to that. That's my dryer making crazy noises. Okay. What is Shawson doing? I don't know if I'm gonna bother him or not. Let's see. I think he's building roads. No, he's working... He's working in his base. I probably won't bother him. Alright. So yeah, next episode... we will finish off upstairs here. Let's just get up here real quick. So yeah, still liking this. I'm going to do a second version up here, which will probably be a little bit more uniform since there's less stuff in the way. And then I'll set up a floor for the CEO office. I'm gonna make sure it's whatchamacallit, phantom proof. I forget how high up you need to be for them to spawn, or how high up they need to be, but they can spawn in this space. So I'm wondering if this steep enough staircase would be enough for it to not be a problem. Or maybe I could have a direct elevator up to the CEO office. Just up at the tippity top. And then maybe we'll put something in the middle. For funsies, I don't know. But, yeah, that'll do for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. And I shall see you all next time.